All right. So the underlying energy that we're working with right now is the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords. All right. Now, we all know that Libra's got a reputation for having a hard time making decisions. I'm one of those Libras, okay, guys? So don't you worry. But the thing here is a difficult situation, and it has something to do with your, your security, your sense of security, your legacy in a way. I feel like this is a difficult decision because it concerns your happily ever after in a very practical sense. So if there is some issues, I guess, with finances right now, or just a difficult decision in regards to making a financial decision, I feel like it's heavily influenced by a King of Wands. Now that's really weird because, oh snap, because what's coming up for this, guys, is that there is a relationship with this King of Wands. Now, this could be a female as well, as far as like fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius now, okay? But I feel like there is a need to make a decision about some financial stability, some security, something in regards to, your finances. Or even so, like, just the feeling of stability, like, this is something to do with you happily ever after. So, and I feel like it has something to do with somebody that you have relations with. Not necessarily just sex, but it could be your boyfriend, your husband, your girlfriend, your wife. It's either one of those things, but it's coming up as a difficult decision you have to make. And I can see how so, considering looking at the rest of your reading. Because I think here, because I think there's just something difficult, and I think honestly it's one that you really kind of don't want to look at right now. You just kind of like kind of like, I don't know about this, because the Two of Swords isn't just talking about indecision. It's having a hard time coming up with an answer to difficult conclusions. And when the Two of Swords comes up, it's one that's generally a decision where we don't really want to deal with it. It's one that we just like, it's that difficult that we just don't want anything to do with it. So we're working with energy here that is straight up saying we don't really want to deal with that energy. We don't really want to know what's going on. Okay. Now, in the heart of your reading, you'll have the Ace of Wands, and I think this is a really good card, okay? The Ace of Wands talks about exciting new adventures, new beginnings. This talks about starting new projects or beginning a new journey with some excitement, right? Okay? So there's a lot of passion here. There's a lot of potential for creativity to come out now. You can discover something within yourself that's in regards to what your passions lie. And I feel like that has a lot to do with, the decision making because of the Tower, y'all. So, okay, so the Ace of Swords is saying like, okay, there is this new beginning wanting to come out, right? There is something like wonderful that's really waiting to start. You're really excited to take on this new journey, etc. But then you get the Tower. Now, the Tower could be talking about like, could be talking about something suddenly like putting kind of like a hiccup in the road, if that makes sense, right? It's like something that's kind of unexpected, some unexpected news, possibly in the positive here, okay? That honestly can make that new beginning even better, okay? For some of you guys, I feel like it's one that is not one of just the shock and awe of it, but it's one that is actually quite fascinating, because the Tower doesn't have to be a bad energy. The Tower happens unexpectedly, so you don't see it coming. But I feel like that new beginning has something to do with something wonderful happening. However, because the reason why I was going in the negative route in the first place, and like I said, there's nothing really, negativity isn't necessarily bad. It helps us, grow in different ways. But the reason I was looking at it in such a off kind of way is because you have the Two of Swords as your underlying energy. So maybe there's something came up that you have to make a decision about, that is somehow kind of, it's getting in the way of the exciting factor of this new beginning. Okay. So that's what's telling me. Oh my God. Okay, the Ace of Pentacles, which is also in your present. So, I was talking about having to maybe going after something that is a bit more stable. Maybe this exciting new beginning um, had something happen where you're having to look at other options, or maybe having to look at options where it isn't necessarily present to you yet. Like you're having to figure out what exactly you're wanting to do to have a stable, a beginning that leads to stability. Because right now, the wands, although it can be very exciting, it's not one for stability like the pentacles is. Okay, so I feel like this is what's going on. You're having to make a decision or try to figure out something in regards to what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel comfortable. And I don't know if necessarily comfortable, but maybe this could even be like having to do with, just having that sense of support going on right now. Big time. You guys want a foundation, and I feel like the wands is exciting, but something kind of came in the way that's making you having to figure out what to do in regards to getting you towards a stable route. Now, in the past, you had the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands, to me, is basically indicating that there was there were some squabbles. The thing here is with this Five of Wands is that you notice here that the men here, they have blindfolds on. Okay, they have blindfolds on, but you see that their wands. What they're trying to do is hit that beehive. The whole point of the Five of Wands in this deck, I feel, is that they're trying to accomplish a goal together. Different perspectives, different methods of doing things, but at the end of the day, the goal is still the same. So, I feel like there was some inner turmoil, if any, or maybe even some arguments, possibly with that King of Wands that I saw, in regards to discussing where the goal is. Right? You guys are having a hard time, like, I guess, trying to get to one particular goal because there's so many possibilities and so many ways of doing things, right? That can lead to conflict, so many different ideas. Because that's what all conflict is the clashing of different ideas, right? So for the Two of Swords being there, I feel like that's definitely leading to the difficult decision making here, is that there's a lot of ways and avenues to go about doing something, and they can be all promising, but they can also be kind of steer away from the goal itself. Even though the Five of Wands is focusing on the main goal, I feel like you guys, there was a potential that you guys could have pretty much lost the focus. However, you guys came out of this really well. You guys noticed, the struggles, understood that each idea was meant to reach one particular goal, and you guys stuck with one of those. And now you guys have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so the conflict, in a way, it changed. It was a form of change, and it had a lot of ideas, a lot of conflict and stuff, but it eventually got you to a place where you could put all of that energy and that, figure out one method of getting to one kind of spot to be, to start something that has a stable beginning. So already, this is still very good. The reasoning of the Tower just kind of being so weird is because I feel like it's just out of nowhere, and it just kind of happened, and it was exciting, but now you're really having to get a little bit of that serious energy, because this, Two of Swords ain't playing, okay? And neither is the Eight of Cups. He's like, oh, this ain't for me, I'm done. But as far as the, Ace of Pentacles go, I feel like this is something in regards to, security and stuff. This could be, this could be a new job for some of you guys. Even though, this is your love reading, this could be an offer of new love for you guys, but has the potential to be long term. Okay? And I feel like big time, you are in the process of building something really, really strong for yourself fundamentally. I feel like this is just excellent. You guys are on that road. It's, it's one that's it can be pretty slow at start as well, because all of Pentacles, they have the potential to be rather slow. But I feel like you guys are headed in the right direction. Now, in your future, y'all have the Lovers. So, I feel like in the future, y'all are definitely going to have that decision to make. This is why I don't think this reading is bad at all, because you guys have a lot of hope here. Despite the fact that you have the Two of Swords, which talks about, difficult time making a decision, especially one that makes you uncomfortable and don't really want to face it head on. There is still, like, passion where this decision is. There is still something in regards to what you love with this decision. So whatever you decide to choose, whatever you decide to, go for, whether it be, what your heart is leaning towards or what your head is leaning towards, you're going to make a decision. Let me go ahead and pull just to see what else can you give us about the Lovers in the future, please. Talking about getting started, he's ready for it. And it looks like you guys are ready to start a new beginning with the Page of Pentacles falling out. Like, you want that new beginning. And that's something that is that's where your passion lies. A stable place to be. And a stable, not as well a stable place to be, but like growing in a direction where it shows, stability. Okay? Because right now, because right now with the the Ace of Wands being the heart of your reading here across by the Tower, it's talking about, you have the exciting energy, but nothing's really concrete. Like, I'm not saying nothing's concrete per se, but it's a very rocky foundation. Because everything that has been coming up, Ace of Pentacles to clarify the Tower, Ace of Pentacles that's in your future, in your present. Then you got the Page of Pentacles that's in your clarifying your crowning energy. Then you got the Hierophant. You got all these things talking about, foundation, stability. And what is the Tower? It's not stable. It's going to crumble down, right? So you guys are wanting to start something new, and you're excited about starting something new, but you want something that has a solid foundation to it, and you want to build towards that. It's an exciting adventure, and it's something that you can really look forward to, but you want to be pushed in that direction where there is stability. So I completely get that, y'all. Completely get that. And that's why you want to go look for it. You're ready to go off and start that journey to find what makes you feel grounded, whether it be in your financial life, whether it be in your relationship life, or your life all in general. But you're feeling like you really need some stability right now, because everything's everything's not stable. Everything's slippery and slidey and inconsistent. So that is something that is up for you guys. So I feel like right now, it's just the biggest decision right now is just to figure out exactly what is best for you. What is your truth? And to get there is to really tap into yourself. What is your passions? What drives you? Okay? And what does your heart want? What does your mind need? What is the balance? And then with understanding yourself and that balance, you'll be able to make the decision easy, and you'll be able to go off and figure out exactly you'll be able to find what you're looking for. No problem. Now the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups here, like even in the clarifying photo here, I'm going to show you right fast. They both have the Moon. So that indicates to me that following your intuition is definitely going to help you with this. Make sure you listen to your intuition. Even in this one right here, in this card here, the Two of Wands to clarify the Lovers in your future. If you follow your intuition, you listen to spirit, connect yourself with spirit, you'll be able to understand yourself in a totally different level. You'll be able to find your passions because that's within. Okay, and you'll be able to make that decision, no problem. It may seem difficult now. It may be hard to figure out. And if this is about a relationship and it was about somebody, like if you're not sure if there can be that support for you, it is really scary, but you got to do what you got to do, and you got to do what makes you feel good, and what makes you feel comfortable, and what will actually bring you happiness. Because my lord, okay, Libra, you guys had one hell of a year with Jupiter, and if I had learned anything, if I didn't learn anything, I did get one message: be honest with yourself at the end of the day. Okay, Libra to Libra, I got you. Okay, now your Wisdom of the Oracle card is poised. So this is talking about you being ready. You guys want this. Go get it. This is yours. Be that Knight of Wands. Go get what you want. Okay? Okay, the Knight of Wands didn't play. When something isn't what they want, they'll be like, fuck it. I'm out. Okay? Done. Bye. That's the energy that you need to have right now. This is your life. This is what you want. And if anything don't look right, then it's just, it ain't for you. That's just it. Bye. You know? Like, bye. I don't need that. Okay. So, but at the end of the day, though, you are ready. You are prepared to take on, the difficult tasks ahead. You're ready to take on the future. You're ready to take on the exciting new beginning. It's there for you. It may be unexpected, or something unexpected might have, caused something to happen, or even that you're recognizing that there isn't a stable foundation for you right now. You know that you can handle it. That's just it. And you're ready to take it on. Okay. It's just talking about being ready and, taking that leap. All right. Now for your wisdom of your romance angels, y'all got, heart to heart conversations. And this is talking about, honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. Okay. So, Two of Swords, right? Just difficult decisions you have to make. Queen of Swords. Swords are about communication, thoughts, the mental, things that are in the million up top. Okay? So, and it's also about communication, okay? Big time. That is one of the big things about about the Swords. It's about communication. So, if this difficult decision is something that you may not want to face, you might want to talk about why exactly it's not something you really want to deal with, and why is it so difficult. And in regards to this decision, especially if this is a person that you're trying to decide if this is stable enough for you, then there is a need to have a conversation with your partner about whether his or her goals are in line with yours, or at least leading in some spot where it can prosper in a way that is stable and supportive and secure for you. Okay. Now, big, I'm putting that as the title. Okay. Security, stability, and support. I mean, because this whole reading is talking about that. Okay. I know you're going to be like, oh, she did it, obviously, but it's neither here or there. All right. So I think deep down, though, you guys, it's best to have that conversation. When you make that decision in the future, you're going to come into your energy, and you're going to notice things from, what your heart wants and what your mind wants. And you're going to be able to make a decision from there. But despite that, right? Well, not despite that, but in regards to that, I think it's important to be able to communicate exactly what you're thinking and what your choices are, so that way it can kind of propel you to be ready to take on those tasks and the things that you need to do. Okay, the things that you want to do. Because the Eight of Cups, you had it twice, and poised. They're all meaning ready. You're ready to handle whatever you need to handle. If it's not what you want, you're ready to take on the challenge of finding that thing.